What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. I'm once again joined by Tyler. We are back for another video in our Avengers Endgame community series. A community series that's been going up on our channel every single day since Avengers Endgame came out. We've been talking a lot about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we did that in yesterday's video as well. We talked about how we believe there won't be a new Avengers movie for quite some time. If you guys missed that video, please go back and check it out. Like I said, it just came out yesterday. In this video, we wanted to double down on that, and we wanted to talk about the heroes, the Avengers, however you want to say it, who is going to be in these movies, Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. Tyler's made some really nice graphics, and we got some ideas as to returning characters. We want to talk about that in general, right? Who's going to be the people that have been in this phase that are going to continue on and still be in the future movies? How much longer will they be in it? You know, age is definitely a factor, and when these movies come out is a factor. And also what they want to do with these movies, how they're, or, you know, who are they going to introduce? How many new characters are there going to be? Are there going to be a blend of male and females, because we know that that's a big deal to them nowadays. So Tyler, what do you think about all that?
It's kind of tough because there are a lot of things for them to be looking at. Kind of like we said in the last video, yesterday's video, which was Avengers 2030. So there's a lot of, because Disney, Marvel, same thing. They obviously are going to try to play into certain things, whether certain people like it or not. They're going to try to avoid certain things, certain problems, whatever. We know from Endgame when they had the scene, which I thought was actually a really cool scene, when they had all the female heroes come together. I'm not going to list them off because I don't even remember all of them. There was probably like 7 or 8 of them. It was actually really cool to see. They're saying maybe they're going to make a movie of it. I actually don't think they will. But the reason I'm saying that is they do. Obviously, they have a lot of female heroes now, but they're not really like they're kind of more. And I hate to say it because I don't want to get hate. They're kind of more side characters, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because so was Black Widow. But I always kind of saw Black Widow as like a main character. It's kind of that's the thing about Marvel is there's like there really aren't like sidekick type things. I feel like there's like the leader groups is what I call them, like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, not even Hulk. Like those 3 were like the leader groups, and then everybody else after that were kind of all, I would say, like equal status, like not based on power, just based on like, you know, they're also heroes and they're part of the group and they contribute too. Yeah, so it's kind of weird, like. They have to have more female characters, otherwise they'll get complaints. So, this is the list that I think we'll be getting for Avengers 5. And I think it's going to be really different for Avengers 6. So, the list that we've come up with is Captain Marvel, I'm just joking around saying Captain Falcon. That's like a Nintendo thing. But Falcon, who is now Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Wasp, and Scarlet Witch. Now, some videos have done like similar, where they're making the roster, and some of them actually have left Thor out, and I'm not quite sure why, because I think Thor, I guess some people think that Thor is going to be like part of the Guardians of the Galaxy now. I don't. I think that's going to be kind of a one-and-done type thing. I think that's just going to pull, it's going to project him onto his next Thor movie, like Thor Adventure. That's how I see it. So I don't see them not putting Thor in the Avengers because he's kind of got that. He just interacts really well with everybody. I don't see them not putting him in the Avengers. But the one that really made me wonder, because a lot of people were saying Scarlet Witch, and we were talking. I was talking to Alex before we did this video. And I was like, I really don't see that happening. I feel like because she was created from the Infinity Stones, and that was like the Infinity Saga, I felt like it wasn't... I feel like her story kind of will end, but that's kind of why we're getting the WandaVision show. I feel like that's going to kind of show, like, here's the ending for her, so that she gets kind of like a proper ending with Vision. But then I really thought about it. And then I decided that I almost feel like they're kind of, and I don't the words I'm about to use, please don't get mad at me. There's no other words to use. I feel like Marvel's kind of going to get stuck with bringing her back. Now, understand this. I think Elizabeth Olsen is great. I actually really like Scarlet Witch. Didn't like her in Age of Ultron. Really liked her in Civil War, and really, really liked her in Infinity War, and even Endgame. They made her... Well, I guess it was the Russos, really, who made her really very cool. Her powers that they display, she's really awesome, and I want to see more of her. But I also want these characters to always have a good ending. That's my thing. I'm more into that. I want their characters to have a good ending and a good character arc. Bringing her back for Avengers 5, not sure if that would do that for her. I really don't. Because how do you bring her back but not Vision back? So it's kind of like it's a catch-22 type thing. But if you don't bring her back, then you're having 5 male characters and only 2 females. And I feel like people would kind of be like, well, knowing that there's so many female characters now, female heroes, is it really necessary to have that many more males than females? And I actually, in a way, would kind of agree, because they did show, like, yeah, there are a lot of female heroes. So why isn't it almost even? Why is it almost half? Bringing Scarlet Witch into that mold would be that way to have. Now you're talking 3 females versus five males. That's better. So that's how I think it's going to be for Avengers 5. Captain Marvel, Falcon, Spider-Man, Thor, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Wasp, Scarlet Witch. No Doctor Strange. I don't think Doctor Strange will be in the Avengers. He might pop into like Avengers 6, but I don't think he's going to be part of that roster. So now for Avengers 6, I think it's going to be Captain Marvel, Falcon, Spider-Man, Black Panther, maybe Doctor Strange, and it might even be his last time even being on screen. And everybody else would be all new characters. So Thor, Ant-Man, Wasp, Scarlet Witch would all be done after Avengers 5. That's how I'm seeing this. Thor might end up having his own single solo movie like outing, and that would be the end for him. But Ant-Man, Wasp, Scarlet Witch would be done after Avengers 5. Because they're all kind of getting older. Paul Rudd especially, he's already 50. If Avengers 5 doesn't happen until 2030 like we think, even if it's not 10 years, even if it's 7 years, the guy's almost 60 years old. You can't. I mean, it's just not going to happen. So he'll have to end. Evangeline Lilly, who's Wasp, she's decently old too. Not that I'm calling any woman old. Again, you do the math, and it's kind of like, yeah, all right. Does she really want to do that when she's like 50? I don't know. Then you can say, well, it is just CG. That's true. But see, this is what Marvel has to go through. There's so much to it. And in a way, it's kind of like, you know what, we do have to keep this. I just see them changing the roster a bit, like quite a bit, for a number of reasons. It makes it fresh. It allows you to bring in new characters. Because think about it. For Avengers 5, that roster, if you added Shang-Chi, which they might do, but if they do that, now you're talking 6 men and 3 females. Or if you don't have the 3 females, it's 2 females, 6 men. It's kind of like, you know, they're asking for it if they do that. They just are. That's just how like the pop culture, this culture and the media kind of works now. They just can't do that. But if they save Shang-Chi and who else, you know, who they might maybe Namor or whatever, for Avengers 6, whatever, they can do that for Avengers 6 because they got rid of a couple characters, 3 or 4 characters. And the biggest thing that a lot of people kind of don't consider, but unfortunately we have to, toys. That's one of the big things, is they have to change it up. Otherwise, just like in Infinity War, why not all, but, you know, Captain America, Black Widow, some of them look totally different, because otherwise they'd have the exact same costumes they did in Civil War, so you're not going to sell as many toys. Which is why they all had new costumes in Endgame, because it's totally different toys. That's just what they do. That's why they had that team suit, new toys. So changing up the roster allows them to come up with new merchandise, new toys, new all that kind of stuff. It totally changes all of that. Any like merchandise type thing, it allows them to make more money on that. So that's one of the reasons. Main reason is age of the actors. Keeping it fresh. So they have to do that. But it'll get to the point, like Avengers 7, it'll get to the point where really the only face I think that will really know a lot of is Spider-Man. He'll probably be the lead. So it's just, and that's so many years away. I don't even want to think about that. It makes me kind of sick. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, I mean I agree with Tyler. And when it comes to these future movies, I think the biggest thing that you do have to look for, like Tyler said, I think changing things up. Toys, things like that. Age is, in my opinion, the biggest one. You really have to look at the age of these characters and the actors and actresses that play them and say, you know, do they fit? Do they fit long term? Because so far we know Marvel and we know, you know, this branch of Disney as really good strategic thinkers in terms of the future, that they plan things out. They know where they know where they're going to go. They know that these characters that have these standalone films will come in here and they'll go out there and things like that. They need to continue that. And if they drop the ball with that, then I think they're going to have some problems going forward. But you really have to think of, you know, they have just retired a couple of the characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, Tony Stark is now done. Captain America is now done, or Chris Evans, I should say, and Robert Downey Jr. They're now done. But you have to look at the rest of them. And if you want, like Tyler said, you want Paul Rudd, well, he's 50 years old. So do you want somebody close to 60 in your next Avengers movie? Evangeline Lilly. The youngest people are Spider-Man and then like the group of Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch. Those are the next youngest people, and they're all in their late 20s. So even them, if they come around in another 10 years, now they're pushing 40, which was, you know, around the age that a lot of the characters were in Infinity War and Endgame. So I do agree with Tyler. I mean, I think that would be the end for some of those characters. I don't see them making it past that mark. But, you know, I think people are just going to have to get used to, and I think people are going to have to kind of come to the realization and just know, and I think knowing and being ready for it will be better on people, that we're not going to have Infinity War and Endgame again. The next Avengers movie, I completely doubt that it's going to match anywhere near money-wise or success in terms of how good the movie is. It's going to be smaller in scale, I think. I don't think you could possibly... I mean, is it going to look nicer? Yeah. Will the CG be better? Yeah. It's going to be, you know, 5 to 10 years down the line, so that's fine. But I just think that they cannot possibly replicate what they did again. Just the sheer number of people, the sheer number of talent and talented actors and actresses that came together for these movies, they will never have that again. So whatever the next movie is, it'll be smaller. It'll have, and you may be saying, you know, Tyler, Alex, why do you only have 7 or 8 Avengers in your next Avengers movie? Well, you have to backtrack. You have to go back to that. You can't have 35 Avengers like you did in Endgame. You just can't do that ever again. So I do think things are going to radically change. And again, like we said in yesterday's video, like we said in this video, the question is, will they do it right? Was this kind of the pinnacle? Was this the peak of what these movies can be? And now are we just kind of destined for 10 years of these movies just not being good anymore? And then maybe not being good, but just kind of slipping and going down a little bit. And I do think that'll happen. The question will just be how much will it slip. And if you guys want to go back and watch any of the past Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, I know Endgame is out, but if you want to go back and relive what got us basically to Endgame, you can check out a link in the description below. It's through Fandango now. It's an affiliate link. It helps us out on the channel if you go through and you buy or rent something through that link. If you guys are interested in doing that, they're having a sale on all past Marvel movies that they have on that site. You can link your Fandango VIP points. If you guys went to see Endgame, you bought it through Fandango, you can link those points through Fandango. Now you can use them to rent or buy these movies. So if you guys want to go watch these past movies, they're having a sale on their website. You can guys go check that out. Again, it helps the channel out if you guys choose to do so. But let us know in the comments below, guys. What do you think about what we think? You know, who do you think? What are the new Avengers? What are the old Avengers that you think are going to make it to Avengers 5 and Avengers 6? Let us know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And again, we've had videos every single day on our channel. We're going to have videos for the next couple days as well, talking about Avengers Endgame. So if you guys are interested in that, if you guys have liked the videos so far, make sure you guys check out our future content for the movie.